Hey, we're back. Just walking and talking. You know, same as always. So, the Earth is beautiful. Such a such an awesome place. Sad that we perpetuate so much so much hurt to the Earth. Our climate's changing. We're driving these cars that are just spewing out gases that we don't need to be doing. There's so many more and other solutions that make it very easy to not harm the Earth. It's almost like we individuals don't care enough to say something about it. Do something about it. Trucks, for example. It's unbelievable how much fuel they use to move the cargo around. It's the lifeblood of the economy. We have to get these trucks moving around. I was a trucker for a while, so I know how it is. I know how inefficient it is. Absolutely inefficient. When we have other energy sources that could easily provide for us in many different ways. This need for self-consumption, to constantly need to produce and consume, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. We can build upon our own knowledge and our own understanding of what's possible and come up with solutions to solve the problems that we've created for ourselves. We say we need all these jobs, but there's so much plenty. There's so much work that's now being done by computers and machines that we don't have to work as hard anymore. We really don't have to work as hard for the same benefit that we've had to work hard for in the past. A lot of people will take advantage of the new technological advances just to up their profit margin, up how much they're making. If the fuel prices go down, plane tickets don't go down. Why is that? Why don't we pass on the savings to everybody when we're saving ourselves? When we're getting more profit, why don't we turn around and say, hey, here you go. Yeah, we replaced all your jobs with these machines, but because of that, we're going to give back to you. We have people just hoarding wealth. Don't even know what to do with it, except for just to keep it from people. That's just it. Manufactured lack. I don't want to live in that type of world. I don't want to live in a world where there's plenty to go around. But it seems to be hard to find. Where is this plenty? How did it get so lost? And when we just instill within ourselves and each other that we have to keep producing, to keep making, it's a waste. It's a waste of people's minds and effort. We could be doing such better things with our time. We can allow people to do what they want and fit in where they feel they fit. Give people a chance to learn new skills. Be a part of a new type of economy that doesn't use the old model. A lot's happened in technology, but we get spoon-fed technology. When things come out, they're given to all the top dogs, so now they can play around with the new technology, and we're given old 5-year-old technology. Everything that we see right now is just something that everybody knew about years ago. Let it trickle down. Now you have to be in the high places to even be a part of the new stuff. And yes, we do have open source movements and ways to get in with the latest, not have to settle for leftover tech. We have companies just getting bigger and 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 bigger. And when it comes to sharing this type of new knowledge and understanding and technology and things, we're doing the same thing that the other people are doing to us. We're keeping it to ourselves and saying, we're gonna hold on to it. Keep it to ourselves and sell it back to you. We're gonna take something that we could easily give away and let everybody help build. But no, we're gonna keep it to ourselves and let our little group of people build it so that we can make you pay for it. Mostly has to do with a lot of people's lack of understanding for what's possible in today's world, and not just to be magically dazed by all the cool new things coming out, but really getting into what's behind them. How do they work? Why do they work the way they do? Everybody's working on their own project separately. They're all doing the same thing, rebuilding the same wheel over and over. Building the same service that just competes with the other one. that's the business, that's how it goes. I'd rather work together on something. I'd rather everyone be a part of what's coming next. Not just, we're going to wait and see what they come out with. We're just going to wait and see. Like, no, I want to be a part of it. Well, now we got to sit you down. Where have you gone to school? What's your skills? What are these things? I still can't just be a part of it. Whether or not I'm qualified or not, I can't try. Oh, that's where you go to school and you have to pay to be a part of it. Or you have to learn on your own. It's totally possible. I know it is. I've done it. I do it. It takes a lot of time. A lot of personal effort and focus to really keep up, really. But once I've learned these things, I realized that they're very easy to teach. They're really easy to show other people. These things are not magical. And in fact, there's much room for improvement. All these people who don't have things to do with their time in their life, there's so many things, so many avenues of discovery, so many ways in which everybody could be useful. I don't get it. Why don't we want to educate our youth and our unemployed for free? Oh yeah, we gotta. The teachers have to pay their bills. We have to pay the heating for the building. Somebody's got to pay for it, right? Money has to be spent because that's how it goes. We can't agree to help each other and not have to charge a certain fee for our services because we just have to do that. I understand people want to be recognized for their contributions. They want to be rewarded. That's absolutely valid. It's hard to find somebody without a profit motive who doesn't do things so they can make a quick buck, because everybody else is making their quick buck. So let me get on in this. It's very tempting just to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do what it takes to get mine. I guess that's why I'm here, walking the streets. I don't like that way of going about doing what I want to do. I don't want to tie my goals and my dreams and my aspirations to, yeah, and I'm going to make $1 million too. That's fine. If that happens, great. But I'm standing up and saying, I don't need that. I just want to do what I feel passionate to do. And I want to have the ease to do it. I think there's probably a lot of people like me. Who would rather give something away than charge for it? I think if you have obligations and commitments when it comes to money, that will keep you having to make it. You have to make it. You can't just work for free. Of course not. They're not working for free. I can't either. What if you could? And what if you were provided for? What if what you really wanted you could have? And because you're valued for your skills, you can have even more. I think this is very easy. It just takes a lot of people to say, hey, we can help each other. We can stand together and make sure nobody just falls off. No one just can't play the game anymore, so now you have to suffer the consequences because you're not playing the game, or you lost, you failed. Your startup company didn't make it, so now you're a failure and you're in debt and bankrupt. I think everybody has good ideas. Well, everybody. Well, I think a lot of people have good ideas. I think a lot of people's ideas are rooted in profit, sadly. Or some consolidation of power. Where you always have to keep things away from other people because you have to control it. I understand. I really do. It still doesn't make sense though, to me. I try to strike a balance, you know. Being homeless isn't the funnest. But it's interesting. Doing what I love, I just have to do it now. I can't go back. I can't go back. Or I'll sacrifice anything just to keep my focus on what I want to. And I didn't realize how many things took my focus away. And it becomes like a snowball effect. You can make so much progress in a short amount of time by being focused. I've been in situations where I'm focused, but it's not on what I love. It's not what I want. Yeah, I'll make progress, but not as efficiently as I could. But I count my blessings because I've been able to think about what I want. Put a lot of deep thought into my desires. Thinking about what is important and what's not. We all have a vibration. Vibration frequency level is a very important thing to realize where your frequency is at. I didn't realize that I can have higher level thoughts in a higher vibrational state, and then in a lower vibrational state, I almost can't have the same thoughts as much as I try. As much as I try to reconjure up what I was thinking, it's just so hard. In a high vibrational state, I can have super confidence, super self-esteem. I wouldn't even think about self-doubt or worthlessness. It's not even a concept. And then I can lose my focus, and perhaps my vibration will lower. And these thoughts of self-doubt and worthlessness will just come in automatically. I used to accept it. Hey, I'm being realistic. You know what? Maybe I'm just wasting my time. This is so hard. These ideas of self-doubt and self-blame. These are low vibrational thoughts. And if you've ever had a piece or a taste of what it's like to maintain a high vibration for a while, you'll realize, wow, I not only feel great, I believe in myself. No one can tell me who I am. I know who and what I am. And to go from that into another state in which you know what you said, you know what you thought, but you can't think it as easily. It's just harder. It's just more difficult. Why? This has a lot to do with why I'm out here. There's things tied to me having to do something I don't want to do that inherently keeps my vibration low. It doesn't allow me to think the kind of thoughts I would want to think. I have to kind of think in a certain way. I didn't realize this for a long time. I used to have really high highs and then long low plateaus where I wasn't really low vibrational, but I keep remembering when I was so on fire, when I was so alive and vibrant and excited and passionate for things. What happened? What happened? I'd ask myself that. How do I get that back? More importantly, how do I get that feeling that I had back? Has a lot to do with focus. Deciding that something is more important than anything else. Realizing that you can have greater thoughts of self-esteem, confidence, encouragement for yourself. You can have it easier, more fluid, more natural, just by realizing that you're in a higher vibration, and this is what makes it so easy. It's what makes it natural to where you just have it. It's like depression doesn't even exist. How could I? How could I possibly feel bad about myself when I'm in this state? I see a lot of people who have what they call chronic depression. It just won't go away. I can't feel better. I just can't. A lot of people on medication meant to mask what's going on. We have the ability to fix our own problems. Realizing the vibrational state that you're in is very important. For me, it's crucial. Thoughts can start slipping in my head that I know aren't my thoughts. I never think those thoughts, or I haven't thought those thoughts in a long time. How are these thoughts of doubt creeping back in? For a lot of people, it's like they never left. How do I get rid of these? The important thing for me is realize that they're not really yours. That's not your intention. That's not what you really believe about yourself. Those aren't your thoughts. I only came to realize this because there's times where I'm just high vibration all the time, and then I let myself slip for one day, one single day, and all of a sudden these foreign thoughts that I never thought I would be thinking again start happening again. Why am I allowing myself to feel bad? So for me, it was like, this is strange, this is weird, this is not what should be happening. I let my vibration slip for one day. But when I caught it, I realized that, you know what? I've learned my lesson. I can catch these things and realize I'm in a low vibrational state. I can realize that now. And I can say, whoa, 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 pause my life. Pause my entire life. I got to bring myself back up to a state where I feel good about myself again. This is priority number one. I can't allow myself to slip. We have these things called like bipolar disease. Oh, where you have your high highs and you have your low lows, and it's always back and forth between really super high highs and just horrible lows. Why does this happen? It's just another cycle. In a way, we're all riding a vibrational wave. Everything is vibrations. And in that sense, yeah, maybe there's a inevitable dip that you have to pass through. But what I realize is these are more circumstantial than they are actual having to do with you and who you decide to be. You can ride the waves and not have it affect your vibration. It's your choice. I'm speaking of things that are important to me, things that I have come to realize as being crucial to improving myself as much as I can, being better, being more efficient, being more aware, alert. All right. I don't just talk about these things as like, oh yeah, just a vibration, yeah. It's a real thing for me. Absolutely, I can sense. And when I reach a vibrational state that I've never reached before, it's like one of the greatest feelings ever. It's almost like that's my addiction. Is to be able to feel better and better and have thoughts come to me that are just, wow, I'm brilliant. How did this come? How did I just think of this? I always make sure I maintain a certain minimum, I guess you can say. Uh-oh. Meaning there's a baseline where I'm not willing to go below this level. And if I do, it's just for reflective, investigative purposes. I'm more interested in how did my thoughts get downgraded into this type of thinking. I think we really just accept it as this is just who we are. You know what, I'm just a depressed person. I don't think that's the way. It really starts with what do you want? You want to feel better? You want to feel good about yourself? Then start talking to yourself good. Start convincing yourself, even though you might not believe it at first. Convince yourself of what you want, how you want to see yourself. That is your power. Don't let anybody convince you how you see yourself. You might have to break off some relationships, some people who don't really think that highly of you, want to kind of keep you in your place because they don't want to see you shine. Even though they're really close to you, you might have to do it for yourself. So what does that mean? What does this look like? What have I done? What did I do? This is where I get into paradigms. The paradigms that I have allow me to understand and accept different perspectives and choose which one helps me the most. Because it's really just you convincing yourself of who you want to be. The magic happens when after you do that. You can have whatever goal you want in life. Just hold true to it. Keep believing in it. Well, believe yourself to be that person already. We always try to look at where we are, and that's just a vibrational state. When you start thinking about who you will be, that's another vibrational state. You can start focusing on who you want to be and just holding that closer than you hold who you think you are right now. Thoughts will start coming easier. It'll become more realistic. Things you thought were impossible now seem within hand's reach. Valuing yourself is very important. Self-worth, self-esteem is an ingredient in your vibration. It'll lower it, it'll raise it. You can get to a point where you don't even question it. No one can touch your self-esteem. No one can say anything to you that's going to make you feel about yourself differently. That's a very tough thing that we don't teach each other. Especially kids. There's bullying in school. It's hard to tell your kid that, you know what, you don't have to believe what those kids say about you. It's kind of tough. Why? Because everybody goes along with the shaming and the outcasting. But even so, it's still your choice to how you feel about yourself, not what you think everybody else feels about you, and that has anything to do with how you feel, because it will manifest in that way. This is why it's like, in a way, dangerous to have self-doubts, low self-esteem, because you're going to be perpetually creating that for yourself. You're digging a rut that can't be dug out of. I think first and foremost, it's important to love yourself. Realize no one can take away your own love and your own self-confidence. You might think they can. You may be in a situation in which you can't necessarily show how confident you are, but you feel it inside. You know inside, you can't touch me. You want to tell me what to do and run me around? I can act like you're affecting me. I can pretend for your sake, because you need that. You need to put me down so you can feel better about yourself. I can give you that. I can act like I got put down. You can't touch what I have inside, though. That's untouchable. Getting to that point is where it begins, and then you can go out and say, hey, you don't treat me this way. And now there is no argument. People are going to see something within you which, oh my God, don't mess with that one. Whew. I think we all find ourselves in social situations where we have to maintain the norm. We have to fit in. It makes us feel better about ourselves to be liked and loved. So let's do what it takes for that. Relying on external things to make you feel better about yourself, it helps, it works. What happens when these things get taken away? Can you hold your own without your titles and your accomplishments and your fitting in? Can you love yourself and be proud of yourself if no one else likes you? Or does that affect you too much to care about what other people think that much? It's an important issue. It's one of the crux issues that I think are coming out, and everybody's realizing, you know what? I put myself down because I allowed myself to be convinced of others' thoughts, words, actions toward me. Most people will have this self-confidence attitude sometimes where, no, you don't talk to me like that. Like you have to tell them, I am self-confident. You do not do that to me. That's not real confidence to me. That's still your need to prove to them. You're trying to convince them that you are what you say you are. But if you really were, you wouldn't need to convince anyone. You wouldn't need to convince a single person. In fact, they'll start to see that within you. If it takes them a while, it goes. Some people don't want to see these in people. Some people don't want to see that. Some people don't want to see other people confident. And that's just them. You have to realize these types of people and just avoid them. Or, just I could say give them what they want, but that's not really quite it. Non-confrontation is probably the better way to go as far as someone who demands that they're unhappy with you and you should feel bad about what you did or did not do. And they want to make sure you feel bad. And if you're going around smiling, they are not going to like that. If they're trying to push you down and you just walk away smiling, oh no, you did not just smile. You're supposed to feel bad. So in that sense, did you have to smile? What did that really mean? Are you saying, oh, I showed you? You can start being a lot better than people and realizing where they're at, where their paradigm is, where they need their own self-confidence by putting down others. That's where they get theirs from. And if you realize this, then you can kind of feel sorry for these people. And when you come into contact and confrontation with them, you realize that they're hurting themselves and they need some sort of influence over you to feel better about themselves. I think we all have relationships with different people, different times, for different reasons, for growing purposes and for lots of other reasons. But a lot of things are for growth and learning. Relationships teach you things, but they're not always meant to be there forever, especially if you feel you've moved on. If you can realize, hey, you maybe have hurt me, but you've helped me realize something very important. It's more important what I believe than what you believe about me. And it's more important that I keep this close to me. I don't have to tell you how confident I am. I don't have to go around strutting it around. But when the time comes that you want to put me down, I'm just not going to be put down. I can let you know that in a very respectful, logical manner. I don't have to fight you back with words, negative emotions. I don't have to go down to that level. This is really what I would call more the foundations of raising your vibration. It's the beginning, what I would say. If you reach a point where you don't allow people to affect you, not that you don't allow them in your life, not that you don't let them in and say what they say and do what they do because you love them, or maybe not. But you have to realize that you might be on a different level than this other person. And they haven't learned what you've learned. Maybe they'll get it, maybe they won't. Are they still helping you? If you're a person who's so self-confident and has such self-worth that no one can take that away from you, and you're in a relationship with somebody who's putting you down every day, trying to take that away from you, move on. You've done it. Find a relationship that fosters your growth. Find something that will help you learn something new. Or just don't accept the bullshit. Really. But it's important that you don't have a attitude like, no, you didn't, right? You don't have to tell somebody that you've moved beyond where they're at and then throw it in their face. That usually does not work well at all. Taking a high vibrational person and having them tell this low vibrational person, all about how confident and great, and that kind of makes people feel inferior, and that's not the case. It's not the case at all. It's another form of paradigm. It's you have your own truth saying, I choose how I feel. I can view this situation the way I want to view it. I don't have to act upon that, but inside, I'm untouchable. So, if you happen to ever realize that you find yourself in a very more higher thoughts easier and quicker, you can start creating new goals and dreams for yourself based on new ways of thinking that you've discovered. Now you can focus your attention on what you desire without the blockages of the self-doubt and the self-pity. Pity is a icky emotion to me. It's a kind of icky feeling. Feeling sorry for your own situation, saying, "Oh, poor me. Poor me. I'm sad for myself." Really? That's like a double doozy. Not only do you feel bad, but you feel sorry for your own situation, and you're the victim, and I'm in this pity state. It's a low vibrational aspect. Gets into self-victimization. Seeing yourself as the victim. It's hard to kind of understand how reality kind of works when it comes to people attracting situations to themselves over and over. The same type of situation you might attract the same type of person into your life over and over. You may go through a situation over and over. And what do if the relationship breaks up? Oh, you get sad. You cry, you're hurt. Self-pity. You feel sorry for yourself. I know I'm touching on subjects that are kind of sensitive. There's a way to be strong about things that even affect you very dearly. Sometimes you can kind of be callous to very sensitive topics, we all can. Sometimes some emotion's necessary. It helps. It helps to really get a good feel for what you're feeling. There's nothing really wrong with feeling sad, feeling anger. But feeling sorry for yourself on top of that, instead of allowing yourself to experience the feeling and just embracing that itself. I think that's very important.
Wait.
Wait.
LeMay. Walk sign is on.
So, walking and talking. Walking and talking. So this has a lot to do with me. Why am I doing this? Because I gotta go this way. Because really I at least did care about what other people think about me in some way. Like, I can't step out on a limb and talk out loud everywhere I go. I don't know if it's being brave or just not caring anymore. Just not caring, or no, I'm being brave, I'm doing something brave. For me, not caring is better. I just don't care anymore. I think this world is just too strange, too flipped up upside down for me to actually care a whole lot about what other people act and do in this world and how they judge others and kind of keep each other from doing what other people might care about. I don't know if that makes sense. But the thing is, once somebody sees somebody that doesn't care and they're just going out and just walking and talking, who knows? Somebody might be like, you know what? I kind of wanted to do that too. Why is this person doing this? And if I don't really care about that. Personally, this is for me. When the thought came up to, what are you going to do? Just walk and talk around? Walk around and talk? You're going to look like an idiot. You're going to go around with a sign saying, hey, give me money because I think I deserve it. I think it would be very great investment into putting resources into people who can really do something that's not jacked up for other people. Like, I have no intention on taking advantage of other people. That's the kind of thing, if I was rich, I would want to put my money into people that I would at least sense that they have some sort of decency and they care about humanity and they see what's going on in the world and they don't want to stand for it. Agreeing with everything that I say, I wouldn't doubt if you had a lot of disagreements. Hopefully something I said may have resonated. I think we're all better than what we have told ourselves to be. I think we're all loving people. Just that's our nature. But we allow these random acts of hatred and violence to become afraid of each other. We don't trust each other. We put up fences and walls, and we build our house, and you can't come on my property because I don't trust you. We don't have communities. We have commuters. People don't even talk to their neighbors. People might not even like them because they're that right, left wing, right, that person. Why don't you move to a community with like-minded people? Well, we don't want to have communities of hating people, people who hate other people. You know what? I think they're the ones who just don't get it. And I just think it's, how you're raised, what you're taught. You don't have the paradigms. Do you have the paradigm of everyone is precious? Have you ever thought about that? You don't have to hold on to that idea, but now all it has to take is a couple of people just to kind of ruin that idea. So maybe you have to alter it a little bit. Okay, most people are good, loving people. Or most people would be if they weren't convinced that there's bad people out there. And this is all perpetuated. You turn on the news, what do you hear? Oh, you crimes. Oh, bad stuff happening. It's pretty sad how we're inundated with how untrustworthy we all are, and how we should keep our doors locked, keep our children hid away, keep fences so people can't come and take our stuff. And we ourselves are helping to create that. We ourselves are perpetuating it by feeding into it. I want to just put my hand up and say, I want to trust everybody. I want to trust everybody. And I'm going to kind of step on a limb and trust. Let's see where it goes. Now, there are people who, by their own upbringings and situations, I would say are criminally minded. I think we just need to help these people. And it's the same issue. We need to give them opportunities. If enough effort and focus is put into improving a community, crime rates will drop. It happens all the time, but there needs to be first of all, an acknowledgement that there is an issue. People don't have purpose. They don't have things to do. They don't have any type of drive or motivation in life. So they're going out and finding what's my drive and motivation out in the streets. Let's find out what else out here. That's why we don't like you homeless people, because you're criminals. You steal and stuff. That's the last thing I want to do. If I didn't have $1 in my pocket and I was hungry, I'd stay hungry. Why? It's this do unto others as they would have done unto you concept. It's really what I personally stand by. I don't want to be stolen from. Why would I ever steal from somebody? I don't want to be lied to. Why would I lie to somebody? Well, lying is a very sneaky, creepy thing. Another example. I don't want to be put down and shamed. Why would I do that to somebody else? You know, it's kind of difficult when I see it happening. When I see bullying happen in front of me, whether it's adults or whatever, kids, teenagers. Sometimes I might feel the need to say something, to say, hey, stop bullying them. But all you did is just kind of put yourself in the middle of the situation, and now you're the protector. So where do you start? Do you take the bully and sit him down and say, stop bullying? Or do you take the victim, sit him down and say, stop being a victim? Well, it's a hard thing to say. Stop being a victim. You're a victim because you feed into what the bully wants. The bully wants that reaction out of you. The bully wants you to be shaken. The bully wants to know that he got you. He got you. He pushed your buttons, or she pushed your buttons. That's what the bully wants. If you don't give that to the bully, it's going to be an awkward situation. A very easy thing is to just not respond. Somebody's trying to pester you. Somebody's trying to make you feel down. You can just look at them, not say a word. Straight face. You'll make them look stupid. Now, sometimes, I have to admit, these types of personalities will not like that. They don't like the fact that you're just not responding to them. But that's what these arguments and these situations need. It needs a back and forth energy connection between you, where he sends the negativity and then you send back this pity. You hurt my feelings. Or even a lashback. I'm mad at you. Doesn't matter what the reaction is. It's just that they got a reaction out of you. They got you to react. That's what I call being a victim. It's not easy to not fight back and not cower. There are some situations where you should take a good moment to think, how am I going to react to what just happened? This is somebody really called me out, or they really said something that should affect me. And everybody's watching. I can't let myself seem weak. I can't let everybody think that I can be bullied. I have to put my foot down. There's ways in which you can let people know that you don't take bullshit. If you already have kind of the reputation that, oh, they just sit and take it. They just sit and take it and go and cry in their room, so we can just assume we can say anything to them and they'll just take it. It takes a while to move out of that reputation, I guess you can say. To where if you just stand up for yourself one day, it's going to be like, oh, you think you can just... What am I saying? I'm saying you have to internally know who and what you think you are. Again, it was so important to me. I just feel like sharing it. Not caring what other people think, because you have your own ideas. So I find myself with very little friends, relationships. Some, not all. People just don't like how I don't give a fuck. They want me to do what they're doing. Why don't you get a job and go get yourself a wife and kids and do what everybody else is doing? That'll make me feel better about myself if you do what everybody else is doing. Why are you doing what you want to do? You're so selfish. I think certain types of selfishness are very valuable to have. It's like, yes, I value my state of mind more than I value your opinion. I don't have to do these things that supposedly everybody has to do. I don't have to follow these rules. Everybody else does them. It's these social conditioning. Oh, how old are you? You're not married yet? Oh, you should feel ashamed of yourself. You're a 30-year-old woman and you haven't gotten married? No one's going to want to marry you now. You better get married now. How's that supposed to make you feel? Are they convincing you if that's the truth? I hope not. I hope you have more sense than to let somebody convince you of what's going to happen. I think these are things that you might not take seriously. These are things that you won't be taught. You're not going to be told. A lot of the time, how to get everything that you need from yourself. I think there's people who can't be alone for more than a day or maybe even hours. I've seen people who have to be around somebody, have to have somebody. They can't be alone. I don't know what it is. In fact, I kind of haven't experienced a whole lot of loneliness because I'm alone all the time. I love myself so much that I can't find anybody who I love more. I'm trying to. I love being alone. I don't require it. It's not that I have to be alone. It's that I'm so satisfied. I could be alone all the time. I'm so satisfied with myself. This is something that a lot of people haven't fostered within themselves. They need somebody nearby. They need somebody to talk to. They need somebody to give them that sort of love and attention that they don't know how to give themselves. Social media and the need to be liked, the need to be popular in this vast sea of everybody and everybody's posts and who's going to be popular next, who's viral now. It's not as important as how you feel about yourself. Personally, I can't even be a part of these social media things. I just don't post. It's not that I'm telling anybody not to. Not that at all. It's just, it's stressful to have to just keep up, to have to maintain this image of yourself that everybody else is doing Everybody else is making themselves look like they're doing great, taking all these selfies. Woo! Where's your selfies? Why haven't you messaged me back? Why aren't you answering my messages? Why aren't you on social media? Why aren't you updating your posts? Where's your blog? Why haven't you? It's stressful. I'm not saying you shouldn't post. Of course, the internet would be empty if everybody just left. But we're realizing that sometimes you can become a slave to it. You have to get online. You can't just take a day off. Same thing with having to drop some friends. People require this constant attention from everyone. There's no time to be self-introspective. There's no time to be alone and by yourself because everybody's expecting your updates, your posts, your likes. Where were you today? Why didn't I see you on social media? Why weren't you on Snapchat? Where was your picture today? Where have you been? What's your excuse for not being around? I think it's good to take a break, especially from digital entertainment. It can be difficult. It's important to know the types of pleasure that you give yourself. If you don't know what I'm talking about, try going without food, without digital entertainment like TV and the internet. Well, not quite the internet as much as shows and movies and games. No alcohol or drugs. And then see how boring life gets. See how lacking of pleasure you feel, especially with food. I tried this personally. I was bored out of my mind. I didn't know what to do. I had no forms of easy pleasure that I could just indulge in. Sex too. Drop that for a couple days. It's very hard. It's very sobering, in more ways than one, to realize how much pleasure you get out of these things and how they maintain your happiness, in a sense. Even I didn't realize. Driving on the street, all I can see is restaurants, food, food, food. I didn't even know where to spend my money. I have nothing to spend my money on anymore. I can't watch a movie. I can't buy food. I'm just drinking water. I'm so bored out of my mind. Water? Are you serious? Water? And then I have to find out what else to do with my time? Realize what your forms of pleasure are. Everybody has things that they do to relieve the stress, to cope with living. It's kind of a crazy concept. Coping with living. Yeah, it's a real thing. I don't not understand suicide. I understand it. I understand, or maybe I do. I understand that it can be tough to live. Life can be hard just to face the next day. But I've never been suicidal. For whatever reason, maybe it's just how I was raised or how I chose to think about things. It's nothing like I'm special or nothing. I think with certain types of paradigms, certain types of ways of thinking about who and what you are, you wouldn't look at life like you need to leave, especially if you think you're coming back. We're all here for a reason. We all have our higher selves. Our higher selves are very, very aware of what's going on. This is actually why I don't like lying to people's faces at all. It's when I look at somebody, I know their higher self is looking at me too. As much as you think you're screwing somebody over or lying to them or deceiving them, their higher self is just sitting there tapping their foot like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. But they don't come in and stop you from lying and say, I caught you. No. They let it all happen. We're all in this play, in this game where we let these bad things happen to ourselves for a learning experience. From that perspective, that's a paradigm. That's a way of looking at things. That, wow, we all have higher selves that know exactly everything that's going on. They know everything, more so than anybody walking around here. We all have that inside of us, every one of us. I don't care who you look at. On a certain level, nothing can be hidden, especially on this reality, this third-dimensional reality. Lying is kind of funny. Secrets are just like kind of a joke. It's kind of just a game we're playing. We're acting like we don't understand. This paradigm is helpful for me when I see somebody who's perhaps vulnerable, perhaps gullible, and it could be a possible easy target. Now, that's really not my style, right? I don't have any really need to take advantage of somebody. But this happens a lot. People are targeted and they're preyed upon. I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, man, their higher self is looking at me right now. It's almost a joke to think that I'm really actually getting away with something in the end. This is for me, an important way of thinking sometimes. I don't have to always keep it around. I don't have to always, oh my God, everybody's higher selves are walking around. But in some situations where I'm tempted to maybe lie, I'm tempted to do something only because no one can see me. Like I'll just sneak into somebody's room and check out all their stuff. I don't do that. If I have full access to looking into somebody's private possessions or something like that, I don't even want to look. One, I don't want to get caught and have to face the shame. The shame. No, I don't want to have to. It's just, how do you feel when you get caught doing something? It doesn't feel good. Unless you're just so hardened that you don't care, that when you get caught, it doesn't feel bad. I don't like being nosy. In fact, I don't want to know information. I don't like gossip because I don't want to know too much information about somebody that will allow me to judge them. In a certain way, I'm kind of glad I don't know the ugly, gory details of certain people, even though things need to come out in the open. I think the more higher of a position you're in, and the more we need to trust you, the more we need to know what's going on. Why are you doing this? Why have you been perpetrating this lie and illusion for so long? You are in a position of power. We have to know. But if I meet somebody for the first time and they're a pedophile, I don't really want to know. Because they might be a good person and this might be the only time I see them. I don't want to think to myself, oh, it's that dirty old dude over there again. Because as soon as I find out, that's what I'm going to inherently think. And that's what a lot of people do. And I think that's what a lot of people are afraid of, revealing the truth, the ugly truth that is there. Because they know everybody's stomachs are going to churn and everybody's going to be disgusted at you. They're not going to be able to look at you the same ever again. And I think we need to kind of fix that mindset. You know what? You hear people saying they need help. I still love them. They need help. That's a better attitude, I'd say, for what these people have done. They need help. They need absolute help. Well, oh my gosh. I don't know. Some stuff is very, very, very not pretty. Not pretty at all. And what they do is they take others down with them. So they get everybody else to do what they've been doing, that they know if everybody knew, they'd be ashamed themselves. And they get everybody else to do it too, so we can keep this big secret. Now we can all feel the shame together. Now I got you to do all the stuff that I was doing. Now you're in it with me. We're going down together if we ever go down. That's how this kind of works. So I think there's different levels of this disgusting behavior and these evil tactics that are used and perpetrated. I think a lot of people have been turned. However, they've been converted into a person that they probably aren't proud of. And when light starts to be shined on things, they're more scared than they are trying to protect themselves. They're more worried about what everybody's going to think about them than they are trying to cover it up and hide it. In fact, they might be willing to come out and speak about it, but their involvement isn't on the level of the ones who are taking everybody down with them. I understand how this concept works. So it's kind of like, ugh, you mean there's a gradient to who's more of a dirtbag than the others? It's like kind of, but they've all signed that contract, right? They all made the mistake at one point for money, power, whatever reason. It's the only way in, right? So if you can corner a market and say your only way into this market is through this dirtbag, and he's gonna force you to become a dirtbag. That's the only way. Oh, you wanna be a rap star, you wanna be a singer? Ooh, you're gonna have to go through this process. You're gonna have to sign this contract, you have to make these agreements, and you're gonna have to go through these weird rituals and do these strange things, and you're gonna have to be okay, and you have to keep it a secret. That's how they get this going. There's lots of people with secrets that they've been forced to, not forced, coerced, or they're not that innocent. It's almost like, what would you do for a star role, for an Oscar? What would you do to be a star? What would you do? What's the worst, dirtiest thing? And what if I kept doing that over and over? Push you to your limit of what you would do. And then did it again. And then did it again. And I keep pushing you. Eventually you can turn somebody who's pretty good into somebody who's just, they're in too deep. They wanted to be whatever so bad. And everybody else does it. That's the only way to get in. It's the only way to do it. The people who are our heroes and our stars, a whole lot of them have made despicable deals, I guess I would say. Like, you could totally blame them, but it's the industry that forces these deals. Meaning good, honest people can't even get into this field at all. Good, honest people who want to be a star, they're not allowed in. They're not allowed into the club. They're not going to be a star in this world, right? Why? Because a whole group of weird people control it. And they try to maintain it and have people keep the secrets. Like, you have to be part of the team now. This is why it's so hard. So even though you might say, you know, I'm talented, I'm so good, and I'm a good person, and I want to be a star or something like that. Well, hope you know what you're getting yourself into. Because what might happen is you're going to be tested on your morality, on your decency, on your humanity even. And what if that meant you had to give it up? Would you do it? Or did it mean that much? Did it mean that much? It's a tough choice. I think there's times in my life where I might have taken it, especially with the temptation of superstardom. Yeah. You mean all I have to do is just, I don't know, do this crazy ass ritual and agree to these things and do these weird, gross, disgusting, abominable acts, and then I get to be a star and nobody gets to know that I'm actually doing them, and it's going to be kept a secret forever? Oh yeah, there might have been a time where you could have got me to do it. I'd have to be young, have to be pretty vulnerable and new to the game. That's why you got to get them young and fresh so they can't question. So this is where children come in, and it's a different story when it comes to children, because as you grow up, you have some sense of right and wrong morality. Children are just forced. They're not given the choice to say, hey, make this decision. You know, I guess some are, but there's a lot of interesting paradigms, I would say, that have to do with living longer and stealing youth from others. I know it sounds kind of out there, but this isn't just a sicko pedophile thing. Sure, it can go there, but if it keeps going, it's going to get deeper. It's going to get deeper. It's like the pagan days aren't over. It's like back when we were sacrificing people, and we think about that like, oh my God, they used to sacrifice people. How abominable. That could never be going on today. We don't sacrifice humans anymore. We don't do that. This is where we're getting into. I'm not gonna say it's going on, but I'm gonna say prepare yourself for some not so cool things. But if you can understand their position, actually put yourself in their shoes, even though it's pretty disgusting. And for me, it's actually kind of sad. Because I think there's lots of perspectives, lots of realities to things. I think they've been tricked in some level to doing things. A lot of people have been tricked. But a lot of people have been so conditioned to one paradigm, one way of thinking, one truth, that they'll hold on to it for dear life. They have nothing else. Their paradigm is what keeps them stable. It's what keeps us all stable. It's very how do I put it? You have to really care about becoming aware of being wrong. You have to consider being wrong. That's what it is. It's simple. Excuse me. I consider myself wrong all the time. I'm like, am I wrong about this? Am I thinking about this the wrong way? Have I been fooled into believing this? But I have so many paradigms that I can just use and just go off of and just say, oh, what about this way of thinking about it? And that just doesn't fit. When it comes to what's going on in our governments and with the people who have betrayed our trust, there's lots of different paradigms that I can put on, and I can judge them in different ways based on each one. There's one paradigm that's like, where's the firing squad? Where's the ropes? Where's the lynch? That's one perspective. Another perspective is, thank you for helping us become stronger and fight against this. We wouldn't have been this strong. We wouldn't have questioned so much. We wouldn't have come to these realizations that we've come to without you and all the bullshit that you've done. Thank you for that. Now what are we going to do with you based on that? And then it's like, there's this other paradigm that's, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even want to think about this. It's like total forgiveness. Yay, we forgive you. Just carry on. No, not carry on. That's the thing. What do we do with you? That's the thing. It's like, ugh. Because there's going to be some people with their ropes and their pitchforks and their flames, and they're going to want someone to burn. Someone's head's got to roll. It's like, how are you going to stop this mob? We've conditioned people to become angry and bitter and upset over these types of things. This is going to not go well. It's kind of an interesting situation. I happen to be able to think about it in different ways. I think the important question is, will it end sooner will people not try to fight so hard to protect a secret if they weren't so afraid of being put in jail, killed? I think what's happening now as far as public scrutiny or just public knowledge, what's happening with all these male womanizers, abusers, this seems to be some form of justice. Like, your career's over. You can come back maybe, but you're going to have to like go through a huge long-ass campaign of I'm sorry, and courses and classes, and we have to know, and we have an eye on you. Maybe you can regain it all back. I don't think that's impossible. And in fact, I think we should be willing to allow people to show that they want to change. They want to be different. They want to be a part of society still. But there's this sense that, you mean this whole time I was fucking broke, working my ass off, you were living it up with your rich family and laughing at the expense of humanity, and we're just gonna let you stay rich? At least give us, the ones who deserve some type of what would it be now? Money? How about that? How about you guys just give? How about you guys say, hey, you know what? How about we let you guys be the rich people now? Since you're so consciously aware of what's going on, why don't we let you be the people? Because we need some form of trust. We need people who can be trusted. And we don't even know what trust is anymore. We don't even know. That's what I would say. Okay, cool, I'm down with that. You're poor now and I'm rich now. I'm down with that. But then who's getting what? Who's gonna be rich? Who's poor? We want repensation. What's it? We want our money for what we've paid for. Exactly. That's kind of how I feel. You mean this has all been purposefully perpetuated? Poverty is something that has to be manufactured, because usually people are very helpful. We have to throw away food to keep this idea of hunger alive. We have to purposefully use our farmlands to grow crap to feed animals so that we can eat them, and we're filled with hormones and all this crap too. Oh, how efficient is that? Do you know how much farmland there is that can have anything but corn and GMO? Things purposely designed to keep us down. Purposely designed. This is the rotten part. So I just think that it's not going to end. There's something out there that just doesn't like humanity or something like that. I don't get it. Don't like us. We got to keep you poisoned. We got to have these vaccines that are going to inject you with stuff we know isn't a vaccine. These yearly flu shots are just a stupid excuse to do your science experiments. And we're still falling for it even today, even right now. I go to Walmart. Flu shots, get your flu shots. Okay, maybe I'm talking about some controversial stuff, but I'm trying to prepare people, really. I'd be totally willing to say I'm wrong. Totally. I'm like, okay, that's just another paradigm I have. I can bring in the paradigm of everything's great. We can trust everything. I can bring that in. Yeah. And here's another way of thinking about it. Not everything is bad. If this person can take poison and live and be fine, and this other person takes poison and dies, is it poison or not? Is it gonna kill people or not? Okay, there's something very bad in the vaccine. Is it gonna affect everybody the same way? Does your thoughts and beliefs have anything to do with your ability to counteract illness, sickness? Food for thought. All right. You know what? We're heading back. The day is getting started. I'm the walking talker. Wait. I just walk and talk. That's pretty much it.